Happy Cancer season. Happy Solstice 2020, summer solstice for me. This is a pick a card reading for summer 2020. So we will do 3 different readings. These are your 3 different cards and decks to choose from. You can choose 1, 2, or listen to all 3 messages. And we will look at each season in this short pick a card reading and advice on how to handle what we see coming through for each season. So with that, the Page of Cups in the Tarot and Wonderland deck is reading 1. The Ace of Swords showing on the bottom of the Shadowscapes tarot deck is reading 2, and then we have the 4 of Feathers, Sanctuary and Rest showing in the SpirtSong tarot deck. That will be the 3rd reading. 1, 2, 3, and we'll get started with 1. Hey, reading 1. You chose the Page of Cups card in the Tarot and Wonderland deck. I feel like we can almost make all of this fit. Maybe just a little more overlapping here. Okay. So we're looking at Cancer season, Leo season, Virgo season. So we will draw additional cards as necessary as we need, as I need to read these situations, and I will dig down into the bottom of the deck, specifically on this one because I already began that. But just to start, for reading 1, it looks like in general in Cancer season, which began today again, your a major theme is your having difficulty walking away from something that actually is no longer meant for you, that is not for your highest good, but you're struggling with it. And the advice, it looks like, is to battle, to struggle, to compete for your own attention, I think. Needing to fight that fight, because you may be struggling with needing to walk away from something that is not, or is no longer meant for you, is not for your highest good. But ultimately, to achieve that highest good, you will have to walk away from that, right? And it's sort of like there is a battle of wills here. There is a battle of egos, and you should definitely throw yours into the mix, into the running. You're being advised to fight for yourself in Cancer season. Reading 1, moving into, and again, we will draw additional cards as necessary, but moving into Leo season here. We've got the Knight of Air, Knight of Swords, and the 3 of Chalices reversed. So a major theme for you then in Leo season. I think many of you will have achieved walking away from that thing, winning that fight, or that person, whatever it was that you had to be walked away from in Cancer season. And you'll be ready to make plans to charge ahead into the future, to think and act even, but especially think and plan, and verbalize your plans quickly. You'll want to move ahead quickly, And this might be sort of reckless, rash reaction if it's taken too far, right? If it is just a reaction to the eventuality we were just speaking of, you know, the eventuality of, yes, having to indeed walk away from this person or thing that's not meant for you. It's a habit, or it's just a, let's get a clarifier. Let's get an additional card on the 8 of Chalices up there to give us some more insight as to what it is that you're having trouble walking away from in back in Cancer season, this Cancer season 2020, or whenever the reading finds you and resonates, being recorded in 2020, definitely intended to illuminate 2020. From the Rider-Waite Tarot, you have the Sun card here. Have the Sun card, and then the Ace of Fire on the bottom of the deck. So some of you are having trouble walking away from a heavy addiction, something that gives you lots of bursts of needed bursts of serotonin. Or, you know, and the other just make something that, someone or something that makes you very, very, very happy. And I think it's a drug addiction, or it's a love drug addiction, right? But we'll see what else, you know, comes through, emerges as we continue forward here. So let's see how we can arrange this. Okay, reading 1. So then back to the Leo season indications here. So the major theme again is going to be planning and speaking through those plans, and I do think that there is that potential for reckless energy, for rash energy, again, because, you know, if someone or something made you this happy, walking away from them cannot be easy, will not be easy. And most of your actions are immediate thoughts, plans, words thereafter will be a reaction in large part or total to being forced away from something that brought you, again, needed joy and needed rise in those joyful chemicals in your brain is you know, basically what we're saying. And, you know, serotonin, dopamine, that's what wasn't coming to me, but whatever it is specifically, the advice is to stay away from that overindulgence. Celebrations, even groups, even friend, social, joyful work gatherings that make you susceptible to whatever it is that you are trying to put down. You know, where that person will be, or where that particular drug, if it is, will be available to you. And we'll go ahead and point out here that with the Ace of Swords here on the bottom of the deck, as sort of an overall theme, that this inclination toward whatever you're trying to move and walk away from is very likely based on a false perception. Someone has lied to you, or you are maybe lying to yourself, but there's, yes, very likely a false perception, a need for a new perspective. And I think that that's part of what this Three of Cups in reverse can offer you if you heed that advice and steer clear of, again, groups, gatherings, even if it's a work group, etc., that could make you susceptible to whom or whatever you know you need to move beyond. Funny enough, we see the Hanged Man as the advice for then Virgo season 2020, reading 1. And you are advised to, by the end then of summer, actually seek, make time for the process of gaining that new perspective. And really that process is mostly just a timeout. And you're not advised to do that at the end or anywhere in the season before, in Leo season. In Leo season, again, you're reacting to having to finally make that decision to walk away from someone or something, and something near and dear to you, something that brings great joy to you. And again, I think you have the false perception that you need that. And it's as if you're expected, it's only natural for you to have that reaction period. And so it's your job to allow those thoughts and even plans and even words to flow without defining you, which also means without actually taking action on them, with an acknowledgement that this is your reaction period. Which is why it's also not time yet for a reflection period or time to just take a time out from other things and reprocess and gain a new, fresh perspective, likely a more honest and truthful perspective on the whole situation. But by the end of summer, Virgo season, or moving through and ending Virgo season even for some, then it will be time for that. And I see that with the Nine of Pentacles here, giving us a major theme in Virgo season 2020 for reading 1. Some of you are still not alone, so if it is a person, a partner that some of you may need to walk away from, you're having trouble with it in Cancer season, you're reacting, thinking and planning somewhat recklessly, in midsummer, yes, in Leo season, but then by Virgo season, you are with them again or still with them. And it's not necessarily a romantic partner, but yeah, it could be any type. But I do think that it's like an addiction, and so it's likely that it is romantic. Or for others of you, you're just still not enjoying your independence. Yeah, that's what it is. And I think that's what it is for most of you. I think you gain independence from who or whatever this is that you've been having trouble walking away from. But you're just not enjoying what you have all on your own in your independence. When you're on your own, what you have done for yourself, can do for yourself. Yeah. The beauty, gifts, rewards that still surround you, that still decorate your life, that make you very lucky. Those types of things. Obvious and so easy to forget. Just as easy to forget as it is, as they are obvious, right? Because they are obvious, right? Yeah, I think for most of you, that's what it is. You're just not enjoying your independence. And even if you're still not independent in some way that you should be, if you're still dependent on someone or something in a way that you shouldn't be by the end of summer, then I still think that the message is very similar. It's saying that it's because you don't know how to, or haven't figured out how to enjoy your independence. It's not that you haven't created things for you to enjoy. I really think it's a new perspective on what you have to enjoy, and it might be worth saying, you know, that seems to be something coming through here, and something that is easy to notice in a lot of people and places, that if you are down, especially at the thought of going without someone or something that you think makes life worth living for you, possible to live for you, you see this common theme, and we feel this here, of people, even adults, full-grown adults, would be, or maybe would be, right? Feeling like, is this it? Isn't there something more? Is this all there is? And on one side of the coin, there may be depths to their spirituality, their relationships, their creativity, their identity and how they know themselves, that will offer them a spark akin to the, quote, something more they're looking for, right? But as on the other side of the coin, as far as what and who is in your life and your ability to grow more in your own garden, in your own life, and acknowledge your ability to do that, hone your ability to do that, your abilities to do that, right? It takes many different skills with many different types of people and in many different types of pursuits, depending on what and who it is you may want to gain. That other side of the coin is that no, there isn't more in the 3D sense. You're working with what you're working with. Your limitations are what you tell yourself that they are. And it is up to you to plant those seeds and grow that garden, which part of that process is mourning the ones that die along the way, and you know, continuing on in the face of that. And this is not suggesting that you don't take the summer to handle what, that mourning period, if that's much what it looks like, or readjustment period, if that's a lot more what it looks like. So I don't know that we need many more clarifiers for reading one, but digging down into the deck just to show you what had interested me is that there is this Two of Swords below the Ace of Swords, also in reverse. Someone having trouble making a decision here and needing that fresh perspective in order to make a decision that's long overdue, it looks like. And it looks like it's about the Page of Cups, the card you chose to begin with. An offer, a loving offer. And I think for some of you, this is something that is really relevant in Cancer season. And that's a lot of what we see here within the Queen of Cups. For others, the offer may be less of a love offer and more of a job offer, but it's something related to healing art forms, or just artistry in general, healing in general. But we do see below that, then the Devil card could be just Capricorn energy, but also we've been talking already about this, possibly addiction to something that was able to make you very happy, at least at some time, in a certain way, and I think in a way that nothing else has been able to yet, right? Something addicting, and there's this message here that within the Four of Swords below that someone's not taking the time for rest and meditation and reflection and healing then that is necessary, especially energetic healing. And it's because there are long hours at work instead, it looks like. I think that's someone's what someone's burying themselves in, or that's part of again, the offer. And so really what this is revolving around. And we have the Death card then below that. Could also be Scorpio energy showing up. So we see Pisces energy as well. We'll go ahead and say with that Hangman here, Leo energy here as well. Definitely Leo energy. And that's what this may be. Yeah, some of you are having trouble walking away from a Leo with that Sun card there. I can't believe I didn't say that at first. I hear confirmation about that. So then the Death card could be Scorpio energy, yes, but it's very likely an indication that there's just time for a transformation here. A shedding of an old self, an old skin, an old, maybe even life. And it feels like a death. As I said, we may need to mourn these flowers that die in our garden along the way as we continue to grow. What relationships didn't work, what partnerships didn't last, what pursuits turned out differently than we would have hoped, to say the least, in a lot of instances, right? This may, for some of you, be because you've been waiting, as I said, for maybe too long to make a decision about something that just, you've been wanting to grow, you've been waiting for it to grow, you knew success was possible, but it's just taking too long. If it is a person, this could be that you see someone's potential. And 20 years from now, they might prove you right? But it's already taken too much time, or it could be another pursuit as well, not necessarily romantic, but it's time for that judgment call. It's time to weigh your options. It's time to consider your potential paths moving forward, and it's time for that judgment call. It doesn't mean it will be easy. And just because no one should fault you for having this reaction period, not this season in Cancer season, but for most of you, next season in Leo season. For some of you, the person who you're walking away from, their season, right? Or Leo season when everybody's really happy and the thing that makes you happy is just still missing. You still haven't found a way back to it. Part of you is probably still trying to. And that may be the rash, reckless plan that needs to be sat on, written about, talked about, thought about, but left alone when it comes to taking action on things. Yeah, while no one should blame you for having that reactionary period, it also may be that no one can stop you from taking it all the way to reckless, as I've already warned. Taking it all the way to rash action that you will regret. So that is where we will leave it for reading 1. Didn't mean to drop a harsh ending on you there, but we have gone on for, 30 minutes or so for the first reading. I'm so happy and excited to do this pick a card for summer, for these 3 seasons, as a summer solstice celebration, especially with this solstice eclipse, solstice solar eclipse we have tomorrow. How rare and brilliant and beautiful, and yeah, I wish I could dig deeper into Cancer season, so I may try to do that later tonight, even if it ends up being the second day of Cancer season before we get that posted. I'd like to dig deeper into specifically this season, so we've got an overview of each and drew an extra card for that season. But yeah, I'd love to take it a little farther and just do a little deeper further and do specifically a reading just for this coming season that we're in now. Maybe that's because of the solstice solar eclipse, yes, summer solstice solar eclipse for me. Maybe it's because I am a Cancer ascendant, so yeah, I definitely didn't mean to make it all harsh and warnings, and this is just what you need to hear, reading 1. If this resonated with you this season, again, you might listen to 2 or 3, or you might need a personal reading. Just scroll down to the description box down below where you can check out more information about how to get one of those, get a hold of me to get one of those. And group 1, I truly have so much love for you, and I look forward to doing another reading for you as soon as I can. And I hope that 1, you will look at this just as a snapshot of the path that you're on now, but also that you will make the most of the rest of your season and summer regardless. Take care. Hi, reading 2. You chose the Ace of Swords on the bottom of the Shadowscapes tarot deck. I shuffled and meditated some more with the deck after that, and the Hermit card is now here for us. So it's probably, we're talking about a truth that will emerge and taking some time for self-reflection. I don't know why, for reading 1, Page of Swords shows for you, which we will take note of. This is probably a harsh truth to find, to know, to hear, process. Could be. But in reading 1, I didn't let them see the cards fall out. And I don't know why. Your first card for Cancer season is the 5 of Pentacles, presenting a major theme for you in Cancer season. And we'll get a piece of advice for you on handling that. The 4 of Swords. So with the reflection and introspection that the Hermit card usually represents, we may see that you're seeing your cards fall out because this is a truth you find on your own, and this is very much a season of you seeing how things work, finding out how things work for yourself, seeing how things come together for you, yourself. So we're going to do the same now for Leo season. Get a card to represent a major theme, and then a piece of advice, and then the same for Virgo. And then we'll look at the bottom of the deck, and I will draw extra cards as needed as we move along. Now the Five of Cups. So far we're talking about a truth about lack and loss, or that stems from or encompasses some lack and loss. No wonder it is a hard message to encounter, to know, to own, right? Fives, multiple fives, definitely are speaking to a time of great change. And the Lover's card is actually going to be the theme here in Virgo season then. I don't know why I immediately wanted the next theme afterwards, but that was definitely what was on my mind. Then we have the Emperor reversed as the advice card for Leo season. And back to Virgo season again, the Hierophant. So then your third major arcana. Let's focus. You could be being advised to commit to a path. And interestingly enough, now we have the Sun card on the bottom of the deck. So the other message that came through for the Hermit card for me was that there was a highlight in this reading on Virgo season, this final season, which points to Geminian energy, Taurian energy, perhaps. Whereas Leo season points to perhaps Aries, potentially Aries energy. But now we have on the bottom of the deck the Sun card saying that there's a highlight on Leo season as well, or a Leo and or a Virgo. You also have the Four of Cups then below that, just as you got both the 5 and 4 here in Cancer season. You have both the 5 and 4 of Cups really making itself known. Chariot card, the 3 of Pentacles. We'll dig down into the deck, the bottom of the deck as well, even though you all can't see any more of that just yet. And I think I will, try to make space for this Leo card here for you. Okay, so reading 2. Where was the stone that was on the pile you chose? Again, you chose the Shadowscapes Tarot that had the Ace of Swords and then the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. Now the Sun card. So again, makes me want to pay special attention to Virgo and then Leo season. So maybe plans for the end of summer, but then what happens is happening or happened in Leo season, something like that maybe. This season, in Cancer season, there is this lack, this 5 of Pentacles, this need for support. That is the major theme of the season in 2020. And there is this butterfly approaching this person here that has their head down, that makes me think that that is something that is very much provided by the divine, provided by nature, that support that's being sought. But one must shine one's attention and focus, shine the light on the correct areas in order to see that support. We see an example of that in the way that this individual has their head down and doesn't see the butterfly approaching. So advice in dealing with that major theme throughout Cancer season is to make time for rest, meditation, solemn contemplation. When you don't hear a space, a time where you don't hear other influences, you don't hear anything but the sounds of nature and whatever might connect you to the beyond, the divine, in order to know where the right place to shine the light is, your focus, your attention. And I think that this being a major theme in Cancer season, the Five of Pentacles, is telling us that there's very likely a lack mindset propelling the situation. So we then see loss in Leo season, group 2, reading 2. There might be a masculine figure or character sort of missing from the picture, needing to go away for work, or a total loss of someone. They leave the picture, pass on, or there is a very final ending to where you won't be seeing that individual, at least not in the same way. Which looks like a major theme in Leo season 2020 for reading 2. Now this could be this masculine figure, this masculine character. It could be a boss that you never see again, and you perceive losing that position as a loss. It could be an authority figure that you never see again, and you perceive it as a loss. And it looks like with the Emperor in reversed here, you're perceiving this individual as a loss, but your advice is to see why this masculine or authoritative and or father figure had to be lost, had to get lost, because in some instances, not in all instances, but in some instances, yeah, because that's the advice position. I really don't think that we're talking about a loss like a death, because it's advice. It's not advising you to cause that loss, but it's speaking to those who feel like it's a loss. But this is someone who was too egoic, too dominating, bossy, forceful, pushy, too, too egoic for anyone's good. Just very, abusive with their power sometimes. And the other way that I could read this is that in your state of a lack mind and then a heart heavy with loss, you may accidentally take on that role and be that abusive masculine energy, too self-centered. Oftentimes when we are acting selfish, it's because we feel like we are lacking, we feel like we are without, we feel like we are in so much pain that we have to focus all of our attention on self. Especially at a young age, but they can happen, at any age. So yeah, you want to notice that energy in Leo season, and it might be, we said there might be Aries energy here, but it may be divine masculine energy, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a man, right? And it may be your own energy that you need to notice, or it may be that you need to notice that that's the energy of the individual that you're perceiving as a loss. Now, I'm not demeaning it and saying that means it's not a loss, but there's a reason why this energy needed to exit your life, and that is the reason that you need to notice where and what the energy is. If it's your own energy, then it's an energy that will need to exit your life when you're, or that you'll need to avoid, if you see it starting to come out. I think pets and animals really may help with this lack mindset, even, and to avoid that sort of bossy, pushy. I keep wanting to say pushy. So again, definitely it can be just anybody who's in an authoritative or boss or leadership role. Doesn't necessarily have to be a man, just because I said masculine a whole lot. But yeah, I see these pets, animals in that Cancer season card, that first 5 of Pentacles here. So definitely can be something that could help shift your energy, something that could help you to feel at peace in this 4 of Swords state, right? If you have trouble meditating, you have trouble just sitting alone with your own thoughts, etc., or trying to achieve that blank space, or even just like a tranquil state. Maybe just having your pet's energy in the room with you, in the house with you, that sort of thing could really just shift the energy in the room. Maybe take their example. Spend time watching them and take their example and then join in, right? That could help for a lot of you. I see others wanting to help. Then when you move, moving into Leo season, moving back into Leo season, I see others wanting to help you through that sorrow, grief, mourning period, loss. And that's definitely, especially those trying to heal you and help you and support you through that, is definitely not who you want to be harsh with, if it may be you. Because there's some sort of loss here, but then again, it might be your own energy that gets a little too egoic and self-centered. So we want to keep that in mind for Leo season. And then we have, again, could be Geminian energy. It is the Lovers card here. In Virgo season. major theme of a partnership forming. So maybe this is a divine masculine character who was some sort of a business or romantic partner, very important and near and dear to you, maybe all the above in some cases. And specifically, the reason that they absolutely had to exit your life is so that this new partnership could form that is going to very much not necessarily replace, is not the word we're looking for, but yes, take the place of what or whom was lost. So soon after, so quickly, yes, just the following season. And that might be exactly what is needed and right on time as our candle burns out. Reading 2. My first thought about that is that we're talking about a flame that is extinguished so that a new one can ignite. But we will draw another card to help illuminate that Lover's card there a little further, and put at least one additional card right there between Leo and Virgo season, the two seasons that seem to be highlighted, showing up as the Hermit and the Sun card on the bottom of the deck. The 8 of Swords. Is the additional card here. Helping us better understand that Lover's card. So I think that for reading 2, the reason we see this 8 of Swords here is because, in fact, this partner that emerges and that you're advised, it looks like in a lot of your cases, to commit to in Virgo season is someone that you can't imagine partnering with, maybe even at the beginning and throughout summer, prior to this harmonious union, I want to say, emerging out. That could be a romantic partnership, doesn't necessarily have to be, but this whole summer is let me give you a better view there. With the Sun card here on the bottom of the deck, this whole summer is about finding, realizing, getting clarity on what makes you truly happy, what and who allows you to be your authentic self. And maybe, again, specifically something that happens in Leo season. And so I think that some of you are put in this situation of lack, so that you go within and see what you need and find that maybe who you're partnered with, again, in business and love and in some sense, is unable to deliver that. And when you see clearly what you need and who you're with, you may then begin to see clearly who you could and should and really want to partner with in whatever endeavor it is that you need to be meditating on in Cancer season. Well,
For a lot of you, yes, that is the case, because it's just, again, you know, this partnership, like I said, could end up being in, you know, any particular area of your life. So for some of you, you know, it is the area of your life where you're seeing lack, that you also see loss in a new partnership. For others, you see lack in a certain area to help illuminate what it won't work or give or bend in some other area, in a partnership in another area of your life, right? But either way, again, this with the Sun card, I think it's about what's happening either in Leo season and or what's being realized to allow you to be authentic, truly happy. Confident in yourself and your partnerships. And so, you know, maybe this is a union between you and a certain path that you want to walk. You know, it might not be a partner, partner at all of any kind. It may be, a career choice you make, a path you decide to walk. But again, you previously were blind to that option, to the fact that that was for you. And now you're being advised. I think the advice here is to commit to that path or a new partner. It's you know, it's a choice that needs to be made, and I think you just weren't seeing it because your head was down, because you were withdrawing in that lack mindset, and that sorrow, grief. So I really feel like now, since we know that you're going to be advised to really commit to this new path that you choose, that emerges, that becomes clear as the authentic choice for you, helps you be more of your authentic self again. Since we see that now, I really think that here in Leo season is being highlighted because if you're blind to this other available partner, or this other partnership that would be good for you, or this other path, person or path, partnership, person, path that would be good for you, then you may not be able to handle this loss, this grief, this sorrow the way that it needs to be for you to move forward and then see and find this new path, partner, right? And so I see now the Emperor coming through as someone is saying, don't try to control that sorrow. You know, whether it's a divine masculine that's missing, or divine feminine, or just a path in general, don't try to control the sorrow of the loss, the grief, by any means. That could lead you to, you know, get back together with a partner you shouldn't, or go back down a path that you already found out is not for you, right? You also, many of you probably need to allow that grief and that sorrow to lead you where it authentically leads you, in order to find the path that is authentically for you to deeply commit to. And group 2, this is us digging down into the deck just a little bit. Beyond that 4 of chalices, there's this Chariot, and you see these warring energies at the front of the Chariot that have to decide to go in the same direction. So once you move past this state of withdrawal, if you're trying to then control the sorrow you still feel, you know, that could be what's warring against each other there, the sorrow, and then your need to, you know, be productive, do whatever the sorrow is keeping you from, the grief is keeping you from. And so then, you know, your total energy is at war with itself, rather than allowing your full energy to lead you in one direction. continuing to dig down past that. Again, the Three of Pentacles is here, so I think we're talking about work that you truly love to do. I do think this is work. For a lot of you, this is work related, but maybe the loss is something else emotional. Maybe the financial lack has something to you know, has to do with other monetary matters beyond just this particular work. So we see a Queen of Swords here. Someone sharp, cutting, honest, clairvoyant, often sees the truth of things and of people. So this may be you or whomever causes the loss for you. But this is this type of energy's role, right? These losses are necessary. These cuts are necessary. Walking away from what's not meant for us here in this situation. Reading 2 is necessary. Is in fact a fated event. And so as your summer begins, moving beyond this solstice, for me, summer solstice, solar eclipse, all is not what it seems for the first couple of seasons, and by Virgo season, the truth will emerge. You will feel disillusioned. You will see the divinity in the distortion. It will become clear why you had to move through what you're moving through in Cancer season and Leo season. If you can successfully move through it. Again, you can't. The advice is very important here. It's crux to the situation that you not try to control your grief, your sorrow, your loss, your mourning period. So, with that said, I think we will leave your reading there, group 2. And I have so much love for you. I truly look forward to doing another reading just as soon as I can for you. And thank you for bearing with me through the shaking. I hope a lot of the needed insight was able to reach you here, and that you continue to make the very most of the rest of June 2020. Again, happy solstice. Hi, reading 3. You chose the SpirtSong Tarot deck. It had the 4 of Feathers on the bottom of the deck at the time, and I believe this blue stone, I think it was this one. Again, happy solstice. It's summer solstice for me. We've got the Empress on the bottom of the deck now, after shuffling and meditating with it some more for you. So we will move forward from there. We're going to, as I said, look at each season. And it's clearly going to be connected to creating and nurturing success, it looks like, in Cancer season. With the 6 of Fire, success and triumph coming through immediately. Let's move over then to 7 of Feathers. It's coming through for Leo season. It's in reverse. And one more for Virgo season. Then we'll look at advice for dealing with these major themes, and we'll draw additional cards, clarifiers as needed if we need them. We've been using the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot for that. Here's our advice already. Possible Aquarian energy coming through here. Awakening, enlightenment, renewal as advice. on this victory card. The World card is in reverse, fulfillment and celebration turned upside down. As advice in Leo season. We see preparation and resourcefulness are noted here in Leo season as well, but that's what's turned reverse. And then the Page of Shells is our advice in Virgo season for you, reading 3, intuition and inspiration on happiness and abundance, which is the theme in Virgo season for you. That's amazing. We see the 5 of crystals. This is the 5 of earth, 5 of pentacles, but it is in reverse, which is often gaining, turning lack around. And I want to wiggle that onto the board here for you too. So for many, we're definitely seeing a message of security. We're definitely seeing gaining. We're definitely seeing ideas, discipline, and this Page of Crystals here as well. I'm not sure if I showed you that. I talked for quite a while and then realized that I hadn't actually unpaused the recording, so I hope I don't repeat myself to you, but you're seeing victories in those things moving into Cancer, and you're advised to see this as a call to action, a chance to renew yourself, and receiving those victories and wins and rewards humbly is receiving them in an enlightened way. And that's what's required of you and asked of you here. If not, it could be you betraying yourself here in Leo season 2020. Someone may be betraying you. It could be you, or because you're simply unprepared, don't have the resources you need because you thought you could sort of rest on your victory here, your laurels there. Or it may be, or maybe somebody else that you catch, lying to you, sneaking around behind your back, just being disloyal in some way. It may just be that because of these victories and you, yes, acknowledging that there is a call to action here, allowing it to be a moment of awakening for you, where you do receive the victory humbly and do move forward, attempting to renew your own self in some way, likely healing, it seems, in some way. It could just mean then that you cannot steal a lot of time for yourself with the 7 of Feathers there in Leo season, because something is not finished. Something is not done here. A relationship is not complete. If someone has betrayed you, you are not finished with something. If you're finding you can't steal time for yourself, that is why. Some work needs to be done, or if it was you finding yourself unprepared because you tried to rest on your laurels, then this may just be a reminder that it's still not time to celebrate yet in Leo season, but there is this abundance coming in, happiness and abundance in the Ace of in Virgo season, represented here by the Ace of Shells, the Ace of Water. Now that could be in the form of a new relationship, a new love, it's a new emotional beginning though. And I think for a lot of you it is tied to money and work, but it just offers you this new emotional beginning because it's very moving and life-changing, the freedom that it offers you. And we have intuition and inspiration here as the advice on this card. To utilize that abundant, happy time to start listening to, if not actually working toward manifesting, your dreams, the things that inspire you. So if you don't know what you want to do with that abundance, if you don't know what direction you want to move in, it may just be time to listen to your dreams, listen to your intuition, connect with your subconscious. But if you already know, then it may be saying it's time to actually start work on manifesting those things. You have the time, the money, the resources, the attitude now, at least at the end of summer. So, maybe moving into Virgo season, maybe by the end of Virgo season. But the gains, I think, start coming in with this victory right in Cancer season, or you will see how that victory could lead to them. Certainly by Virgo season, at some point, with abundance being on that version of the Ace of Water. So let's just clarify the Page of Shells, the Page of Water here. With one more card from the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. Shuffle up just a little bit. The Moon card. So again, dreams, intuition, listening to your subconscious, connecting with your subconscious. There are many different ways to do that, but dreams seem to be the most readily available every night. And we're talking here about something that you've been waiting a long time to see the fruits and the rewards of. A success that's just taking a long time. So the Moon also carries the message that all is not what it seems, and that could absolutely be that if there is a new love, a new crush that entered that is actually a person who entered your life in Leo season, that could be who you need to listen to your intuition about. A lot of abundance and happiness coming in, and you deserve it all, and don't let a new crush sneak in because they seem like they might be part of that too good to be true package that you deserve or something. We really want to listen to our intuition and even our dreams about those types of things. So that's specifically if, in Leo season, you don't really identify who this is. You got this reading and you've got this this knowing, this message that there's someone betraying you, but if it's not you, and you can't identify who it is around you, and you don't particularly specifically feel like you can't steal any time for yourself, if you can't find the way that resonates, and then here you find a new love interest, a new crush-like interest in someone who actually was in the picture in Leo season, then in